What if the moment that truly ended Meghan's place inside the British royal family had nothing to do with a Netflix deal, a tell-all interview, or a transatlantic move to California? What if it happened much earlier, in the quiet corridors of a palace?
Meghan Markle has not always had a smooth relationship with the royal family, but this time, things seem to have escalated further. According to reports, Meghan has strained relations with Prince William and Sophie, and while it is no secret that she has not always had a good relationship with William, Sophie's involvement has surprised many. While some believe the couple may have triggered the situation, others feel it is in Meghan's nature to start conflicts. But what could have led to this tension between them? Let's take a closer look at the causes of the tension between Meghan, William, and Sophie. Why Meghan's relationship with Sophie isn't working smoothly. Meghan's alleged targeting of Sophie didn't come out of nowhere. It seems to be tied to Sophie's rising status within the royal palace. For a long time, the two women appeared to be on good terms, which makes the recent tension all the more surprising. Reports now suggest that Meghan may not be entirely pleased with Sophie's promotion, especially while she herself remains outside the palace circle with no such recognition. But that's only part of the story and certainly not where it began. Before any of this surfaced, Sophie was said to have made a statement that many believe may have sparked Meghan's reaction. Given their previously cordial relationship, it's hard for some to imagine Meghan would take such a stance without a deeper reason. So what really happened between them? What could have led to this sudden shift? The answer might not be as straightforward as it seems. Sophie, who is now the Duchess of Edinburgh, has recently been at the center of conversations about her new position in the royal family. The title itself is not just a name. It has a long history. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, formerly held it, and has always been given to a very senior member of the royal family. Over the years, the role has come to represent loyalty, service, and close support to the monarch. It often involves attending important events, supporting charities, and representing the crown when needed. In early 2025, the title was given to Sophie and Prince Edward. With that came a higher place in royal ranking. Protocol-wise, this now puts Sophie above Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. That change has led to some reports claiming Sophie feels relieved, especially because she no longer has to curtsy to Meghan. The reason given is that Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020 and has since been openly critical of the monarchy, while Sophie has continued to support the institution through her work. But not everyone sees it that way. Some people believe the story is being pushed in a certain direction. They argue that British tabloids often bring Sophie into these conversations to shift attention away from other senior royals. According to that view, the narrative makes it look like Sophie is taking sides or trying to gain favor, while also putting Meghan in a negative light. However, aside from Sophie's rise in rank, which some believed may have unsettled Meghan, there were already quiet tensions between the two women as far back as 2018, the year Meghan married Prince Harry. Not long after the wedding, it was reported that Meghan made it clear she did not want Sophie, then known as the Countess of Wessex, to act as her mentor. This came after Queen Elizabeth suggested Sophie could help guide her through royal life. Sophie had been married to Prince Edward since 1999 and had spent decades as a steady, trusted senior member of the royal family. The Queen, who had seen many people marry into the family over the years, seemed to understand that Meghan might find the transition difficult. In a private conversation, she reportedly told Meghan that royal life could feel challenging and even a bit overwhelming at first. Still, she reassured her that it would become easier with time. She even reflected on her own experience, despite having been born into royalty, explaining that adjustment was something everyone had to go through. Because of this, the Queen wanted Sophie to step in to help Meghan settle into her new role. The idea was simple. Sophie had once been in a similar position and could offer practical guidance on navigating the royal life within. However, reports claimed Meghan was not particularly open to this arrangement. She was said to prefer finding her own way and believed she could rely on her husband, Prince Harry, for support. It was later suggested that Meghan's hesitation may have come from a deeper sense of unease. Some accounts claimed she felt that several members of the royal family were not entirely supportive of her marriage to Harry. Because of this, she may have found it difficult to fully trust anyone within the institution, choosing instead to rely almost entirely on her husband as the one person firmly in her corner. The challenge, of course, was that Harry had grown up inside the system, not married into it, so his perspective was very different from someone like Sophie, who had to learn it from the outside. Interestingly, Sophie's background had some similarities to Meghan's. She did not come from an aristocratic family and had built a career before marrying royalty. She worked in public relations and handled accounts for major brands, including Capital Radio. It was during this time, in 1987, that she first met Prince Edward, although they would not become a couple until years later. In 1996, she co-founded her own agency, RJH Public Relations, with business partner Murray Harkin. After reconnecting with Edward in 1993 during a charity event, their relationship grew, leading to their marriage in 1999. Meghan's journey, meanwhile, took another path. Before joining the royal family, she had already built a public life of her own. She was an actress, known for her role in the TV series Suits, and also ran a lifestyle blog called The Tig. Beyond her career in entertainment, she was involved in humanitarian work, advocating for gender equality and supporting various global causes. When she married Prince Harry in 2018, she stepped into a world that was far more structured and tradition-bound than anything she had known before. Unlike Sophie, who gradually eased into royal duties over time, Meghan's transition was immediate and highly scrutinized. From the start, she appeared determined to shape her role in her own way, rather than follow a path that had been laid out by others. So, looking at Meghan and Sophie's very different backgrounds, it becomes easier to see why they never truly connected from the start. But Sophie isn't the only one Meghan has reportedly clashed with. There have also been tensions involving Prince William. What could have sparked this growing rift? The answer is more surprising than you might expect. Why Meghan Markle targeted Prince William. It had long been clear within royal circles that Prince William and Meghan Markle did not always see things the same way. Still, the issue about the late Princess Diana's jewelry made the situation more serious, and many believed Meghan was not pleased with William revisiting the matter of the tiara once again. Speaking of Diana's tiara, it is not just about who should wear what. It touched on deeper matters like legacy, meaning, and respect for history. For William, Diana's memory was tied to kindness and humility. These qualities defined her public life until her death in 1997. Because of this, the items she wore, especially her jewelry, came to represent more than fashion. They became symbols of who she was. Over time, Diana's jewelry became very important within the royal family. One of the most famous pieces was the Spencer tiara, which she wore on her wedding day in July 1981. Even though it belonged to her family, it became closely linked to her image. Another well-known item was her sapphire engagement ring. That ring later became very meaningful when William used it to propose to Catherine Middleton in November 2010. It was not just a ring anymore. It stood for love, trust, and a connection to Diana. Catherine later wore Diana's jewelry after her wedding in April 2011. This showed that she was gradually stepping into her role within the royal family. With all this in mind, the decision about Meghan wearing Diana's jewelry had already been made long before people started talking about it. It was not a sudden decision. During the planning of Meghan's wedding to Prince Harry on May 19, 2018, it had already been agreed that she would not wear any of Diana's jewelry. The reason was based on royal rules and tradition. Items connected to the mother of a future king were usually kept within the direct line of succession. This had been the practice for many years, and it was nothing new. Although the decision was made quietly at the time, it later became public in an unexpected way. In June 2023, reports began to spread after a royal insider shared that William had opposed Meghan wearing Diana's jewelry during her wedding. This information came out years after the wedding and after Harry and Meghan had stepped back from royal duties in January 2020. Because of this, many people wondered how such a private detail became public. Up till now, it has remained unclear how the information got out. More details about the situation came from Rob Jobson in his 2023 book, Catherine, the Princess of Wales. The book explained that the tension between the brothers had started earlier than many people thought. In late 2016, William had already been concerned about Harry's relationship. Harry had confirmed his relationship with Meghan in November 2016, and things moved very quickly after that. They met in July 2016, got engaged in November 2017, and married in May 2018. This fast pace made some members of the family uneasy. William's concern was mainly about how quickly everything was happening. He believed it would have been better to slow things down so Meghan could adjust to royal life. Life in the royal family comes with many expectations, and it is not always easy for someone coming from a different background. However, this concern did not bring the brothers closer. Instead, it created more distance between them. What was meant to be advice was taken in a different way, and it added to the growing tension. But there was more to the story that eventually made everything even more complicated. At the same time, the issue of jewelry remained sensitive. Catherine's access to Diana's jewelry did not happen immediately. It came gradually as she took on more royal duties and became more established in her role. However, the fact that Meghan Markle was reportedly not allowed the same level of access, while Catherine, Princess of Wales, was eventually permitted to use these pieces, made the situation appear more like a case of bias to some observers. Meghan, on the other hand, was still new to the family at the time of her wedding. The situation became even more widely known after Spare's release on January 10, 2023. In the book, Harry described how his relationship with William broke over time. He spoke about arguments and even mentioned a physical confrontation in 2019. These details showed how serious the tension had become. While the book focused on personal experiences, it also supported earlier reports that things had already been difficult before the wedding. In addition, there were discussions about how Meghan adjusted to royal life. Her approach was often seen as different from what people expected. She had lived a very independent life before joining the royal family, working as an actress and speaking openly about social issues. This made her stand out. However, the royal family is built on long-standing traditions, and any difference from those traditions can sometimes cause tension. Her way of doing things did not always match what was expected within the institution. Looking more closely at royal jewelry, it becomes clear why the issue was taken seriously. Many of the pieces linked to Diana are part of a larger collection with a long history. Some items belong to the royal family, while others, like the Spencer tiara, belong to Diana's own family. The use of these items is often guided by traditions. Usually, they are worn by those closest to the future king. This helps maintain a sense of continuity and order within the monarchy. In the end, the situation involving Meghan and Diana's jewelry was about more than just accessories. Meanwhile, it is not only jewelry that may be causing concern. As Prince William slowly takes on more royal duties, another worry is growing. Could he one day have more power to punish Harry and Meghan by taking away their royal titles? How possible is this? Keep watching to find out why Meghan and Harry could lose their royal titles. Since 2023, when King Charles began reducing his public duties after his cancer diagnosis was made public in early 2024, Prince William has taken on more responsibility within the royal family. His role has gradually expanded as the heir to the throne. He now carries out more investitures at Buckingham Palace, where he presents honors to people who have contributed to the United Kingdom. He also represents the king at important national and international events, including state visits from foreign leaders. In addition, he has increased his involvement with the Duchy of Cornwall, which is a large estate that provides income for his official work and charity projects. He continues to lead the Earthshot Prize, an environmental award focused on solving climate problems, and he has become more active in supporting military families and national remembrance events. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has also taken on more duties during this period. After facing health challenges in 2024, she slowly returned to public life, focusing on early childhood development, mental health awareness, and family support programs. Together, William and Catherine are now seen more clearly as the future leaders of the monarchy, and their public presence has become more important for the stability of the royal institution. At the same time, attention has remained on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Since they stepped back from royal duties in 2020, discussions about their royal titles have continued in public debate. Some people believe that when Prince William becomes king, he may take stronger action regarding their titles. However, royal titles in the United Kingdom follow strict rules and traditions, and the situation is not simple. The monarch, who is the king or queen of the United Kingdom, controls royal titles. These powers are part of what is called royal prerogative. This means the monarch can give or change certain honors without needing approval from Parliament. Titles like Duke or Duchess are created through official documents called letters patent. These documents explain who receives a title and how it should be used. However, Parliament can sometimes get involved in very serious or rare cases, especially when laws are needed to remove titles. There are different types of royal titles. Some are peerage titles like Duke, Earl, or Baron. Others are styles like Prince, Princess, or His Royal Highness. Peerage titles are more formal and often last for life or are passed down through family lines. Styles like His or Her Royal Highness depend fully on the monarch's approval and can be removed more easily. Prince William currently holds several important titles. He is the Prince of Wales, a title given to him by King Charles in September 2022. He is also the Duke of Cornwall, which he automatically received when his father became king. In Scotland, he is known as the Duke of Rothesay. Catherine holds the title Princess of Wales because she is married to the Prince of Wales. She is also a Duchess through William's other titles. Harry and Meghan hold the titles Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Queen Elizabeth gave these to them on their wedding day in May 2018. By then, Harry was already a prince by birth. Meghan became Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex when she married him. However, after they stepped back from royal duties in 2020, an agreement was made that they would stop using the Royal Highness style in official life, although they still legally hold their dukedom titles. It is legally possible for royal titles to be removed, but it is not easy. The monarch can remove the Royal Highness styles using letters patent. However, removing a peerage title like Duke usually requires either a special law passed by Parliament or a formal agreement. This is because peerage titles are protected by long-standing legal traditions in the United Kingdom. There is historical evidence that titles can be removed. In 1917, during the First World War, the British government passed the Titles Deprivation Act. This law allowed the removal of titles from members of the royal family who supported enemy countries. More recently, Prince Andrew lost his military roles and Royal Highness style in 2022 after public pressure and controversy, although he still holds the title Duke of York. Another example is King Edward, who gave up the throne in 1936 and lost his position as king. He was later given the title Duke of Windsor. But that's not all. Princess Diana also had changes in her royal status. After her divorce from then Prince Charles in 1996, she lost the Her Royal Highness style and became Diana, Princess of Wales. She was no longer part of the royal family in an official working sense, even though she remained the mother of a future king. Her situation showed how royal status can change after divorce. In the case of Harry and Meghan, there is currently no legal evidence that they have done anything that would automatically lead to their titles being removed. Their decision to step back from royal duties was agreed with Queen Elizabeth at the time. Because of this agreement, their situation is different from cases where titles were removed due to wrongdoing or legal action. So, looking ahead, it is possible that Prince William, once he becomes king, could make changes to royal titles if he chooses to. However, such a decision would depend on many factors, including public opinion, political support, and respect for tradition. It would not be a simple action and would likely require some serious steps. For now, the issue remains uncertain and largely based on speculation rather than any confirmed plan. But even with that uncertainty, Meghan and Harry have continued to face the consequences of their decision to step back from royal duties. Some privileges associated with royal life have since been reduced or taken away. Let's take a closer look at some of these consequences. What Meghan and Harry gave up when they left the royal family. Of course, Meghan and Harry's decision to step away from royal life came with serious consequences, even though their main aim was to live more freely, with more privacy and less pressure from royal duties. Over time, it became clear that the decision was not just a simple exit, but something that grew out of long-standing tension and emotional strain within the royal environment. What looked like a sudden break in 2020 actually had roots that stretched back several years. The tension can be traced back to when Harry began his relationship with Meghan in 2016. From the start, the relationship attracted heavy public attention, but within royal circles, there were concerns about how fast things were moving and how Meghan would adjust to royal life. By late 2016, discussions and worries had already started within parts of the institution. Some felt the relationship was developing too quickly, and others questioned how prepared Meghan was for the strict rules and pressure that came with being linked to the monarchy. Still, the relationship continued to grow despite the tension around it. By November 2017, when the engagement was announced, many people were surprised. Inside royal circles, there was a sense that things had moved too fast. The time between meeting and engagement was short, and this created doubts about whether enough time had been given for proper adjustment. While the public showed excitement, there was already discomfort within parts of the royal household about the speed of events and the pressure it would bring. When Meghan officially joined the royal family in May 2018, the situation became more complicated. Over time, she appeared to believe that everyone in the palace did not fully accept her. This feeling shaped how she related with some members of the royal household. At the same time, the royal system itself was very strict, with deep traditions and rules that left little room for personal differences. This created tension on both sides, as both personal expectations and royal structure struggled to fit together. As public attention increased, media pressure also became stronger. Meghan later faced constant stories in the press. Many of these stories questioned her behavior, her background, and her place in the royal family. One of the most serious issues that came out during this period was the claim that there were private conversations within royal circles about the possible skin color of her unborn child. This issue caused major public debate and added to the emotional stress surrounding the couple. Although details were widely discussed, it became one of the most sensitive topics linked to their time in royal life. At the same time, false rumors also spread online, including claims that the couple's children were born through surrogacy. These claims had no strong evidence, but they still spread widely across social media and gossip platforms. The constant circulation of such stories added to the pressure they were already facing and increased public confusion about their private lives. The situation had reached a turning point. The combination of family tension, media pressure, and personal stress led to the decision to step back from royal duties. In January 2020, the decision was made official. The aim was to create a more private and independent life. However, this choice also came with major consequences that were not fully avoided. And it didn't end there. One of the biggest changes involved security. As working members of the royal family, Meghan and Harry were previously protected by state-funded security teams. After stepping back, this level of protection changed. Their security became limited, especially visiting the United Kingdom. This issue later led to a legal case, where Harry challenged the decision to reduce his protection. The case ended in 2024 with a ruling supporting the change in security arrangements. The court decided that full protection was not automatically guaranteed once they stopped being working royals. Harry also offered to personally pay for police protection when in the United Kingdom, but this was not accepted. The reason was that royal security arrangements are controlled by official policy and not private payment. This meant that even if he was willing to pay, the system did not allow the same level of protection to continue outside official royal duties. This decision left the couple with limited security access during visits, which remained a major concern. Financial changes were also part of the cost of leaving. Before stepping back, many of their expenses connected to royal duties were covered through official funding. After leaving, that support stopped. They had to become fully financially independent. While they later signed media deals and built private income sources, they still lost the financial structure that supported their royal roles. This change meant Meghan and Harry had to manage their own staff, security, and living costs without public funding. Moreover, they also lost access to some privileges related to royal life. These privileges included official support systems for travel, public duties, and institutional resources that help working royals perform their roles. Without these systems, their connection to official royal operations became much weaker. Their children were also affected by these changes. As they are growing up outside the system of working royal life, they are unlikely to fully enjoy many traditional royal benefits. These include structured royal training, early involvement in official duties, and close participation in royal ceremonies. Instead, their upbringing has taken place mainly outside the United Kingdom, meaning their exposure to royal traditions is limited compared to children raised within active royal roles. In the end, the decision to leave brought both freedom and loss. It gave Meghan and Harry the chance to live more privately and independently, but it also meant losing security protection, financial support systems, and access to many royal privileges. What do you think about the rift between Meghan and Sophie and Prince William? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen and you will enjoy it.